Happy Friday. Happy Friday. So this is pre-recorded. I forgot to play the little pre-recorded intro. I guess I could still play it. Huh? Why not? Why not? Here we go. That's cute, right? Okay, pre-recorded primarily because I don't want to lose my train of thought. So yesterday, if you saw yesterday's episode of the Be Your Own Hero show, actually, yes, if you saw yesterday's episode of the Be Your Own Hero show, but also if you saw yesterday's episode of Sit with Rev Melissa, you saw two different versions of us talking about my homework for the week, which is evolving, So based on what she said, what Rev Melissa said about my homework, I want to take a bit of a pivot. So before we get into all that, welcome. Happy Friday. This is the 25th day? Yes, the 25th day of February. This is the 40th episode of the Be Your Own Hero show. It's a milestone number. The 40th episode. Oh, it's a double milestone day. All right, so it's the 40th episode of the Be Your Own Hero show and the 270th day of my run streak. Milestone and milestone. I got to hit him with the fireworks. If I could find them. There we go. All right, double milestone day. Okay, so back on track. This is once again the 40th episode of season 3 of the Be Your Own Hero show. I'm your host. I'm Sekou. I'm a professional creative and the creator of the Hero Ministry movement, which is my effort to uplift and inspire the unhoused community. The hero in the title, the Be Your Own Hero show, is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. It's a reciprocal action. And again, this show is about my effort to uplift and inspire the unhoused community and people in general, because it has expanded. So shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this space and this platform to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. And shout out to you for doing the work of becoming your own hero, for being interested in that process. All right, if this show feeds you in any way, please like, please comment, please share, please donate, all those good things. All that information is in the show notes, which should be around here somewhere, usually right below. Okay, I think that's it. Join me here Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time on the New Thought Media Network. If you miss any episodes, you can watch the replay on my YouTube page or their YouTube page, and you'll see all the episodes listed. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you'll be notified of new episodes. All right, done with that. Shifting gears. This is season 3, the doing season. And my intent is to help us take action, not just talk about it, not just think about it, but actually take action. Okay, so back to the Hero Ministry Movement news. I jumped the gun a little bit, but you are watching this on a milestone day for me, my 270th day. Can't even get it out. My 270th day of running every single day, at least a mile a day, since the first day of June 2021, most of which has been outside, no matter the weather, no matter the city, no matter the state. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm clearly already claiming it. I'm already claiming that tomorrow I will have run my 270th run by the time you see this. Yeah. So usually on milestone days, I try to do something epic. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'll figure it out by the time you see this. By the time you see this, my run report should be up for Friday. So check out the run report on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And it'll be a surprise. Whatever I did on the morning of Friday, the morning of my 270th run, you'll find out tomorrow. Oh, no, wait. If you haven't seen it yet, after you watch this episode of the show, go watch it. I'm trying to get my timeline straight. Anyway, all that said, the charity run is going well. We're in the 60th percentile, trying to get to the 70th percentile. Please like, please share, please donate again if you have already, and please donate if you haven't already to my charity run for Mr. Charles. The link is in the bio. The easiest way to get there probably is just to go to my website, which is sekou.com, and then click on the link that says Hero Charity Run. Here's my website, sekou.com. Right there on the homepage, it says Hero Charity Run. Click that. That'll take you to the link to donate. All right, so help us get to 70%. Okay, so moving on to the morning Zen. So again, if you saw yesterday's episode, you know I didn't do my traditional morning Zen, but I have set up some redundancies. So I have it set up so that when I go into TikTok to post my run report every day, I get ambushed with positive content from thought leaders. So yesterday I talked a little bit about Jay Shetty, the nugget I got from him. And they are nuggets because on TikTok, they're only like 10 to 60 seconds. So really brief, really impactful nuggets. Because when you have to distill it down to 60 seconds, it has to be the most impactful part. So you should check it out if you haven't already. TikTok can be very impactful. So anyway, yesterday I was talking about how Jay Shetty advises us to give ourselves whatever it is we're looking for other people. So if we're looking for compliments, give ourselves compliments first. And what I've discovered in my own exploration of that is that when you give yourself compliments, if that's what you're looking for, you don't need it as much from other people. Like it's nice, but you don't need it. And therefore, you're not thrown off if you don't get it. So that's been my experience. It makes you much more self-sufficient, and that's always a good thing. So here are a couple others, maybe just one other TikToks that I saw this morning. Grant Cardone, I mentioned him. He, as I said yesterday, is a billionaire, but once upon a time, he was a drug addict who was homeless. Did I get everything? Yeah, homeless drug addict. So he completely transformed his life, went through rehabilitation, billionaire now. Anyway, he was talking about the fact that you're going to have to sacrifice something to get to the next level. In order to get from where you are to the next level, you're going to have to sacrifice something. And he said something really important. He's talked about not something that, you know what, let me not use a negative. He's talked about sacrificing something you love, something that you've worked hard to get, something that you cherish. You're going to have to sacrifice something in order to get to the next level. Steve Harvey talks about that same process. If you want to get past the glass ceiling, Steve Harvey says, you're going to get cut. You're going to have to break the glass. Glass is going to cut you. You're going to lose something in that process. It might be, for example, friends that you've held on to for a long time that no longer serve you in your effort to move forward. Just for a random example. But whatever it is, it's going to cost you. You're going to feel it. And the irony is, I actually wrote this in a book. What book, Sekou? I'm glad you asked. I wrote a book during the early part of the pandemic. So I guess that was in like 2022. No, 2020. This is 2022. I haven't published it yet. I kind of forgot about it. I've had a pretty busy pandemic, but I was creating a list of things to do to get you through a challenging period in your life as quickly as possible. So it's a guide. Huh, that's funny because I've been talking about guides all this week, but it's a guide to get you through a difficult period. And one of the things I talk about is the ability to sacrifice something that's important to you. And so it's great to have this confirmation from Grant Cardone and from Steve Harvey about this idea that I felt like I came up with on my own, but it's being repeated back to me in this circle of thought leaders. So very excited about that. And I hope that serves you, that idea serves you. That, yeah, you don't have to break through to the next level. But if you want to break through to the next level, if that's your goal, it's going to cost you something. So that can help you decide if you're going to try to break through to the next level or if you're going to stay at this plateau. So food for thought. And I need to publish that guide. But first things first, let me finish what I'm doing here, and then I will publish it in this year, in the year 2022. I have to go back and look at it now, remind myself of what I wrote. Anyway, stay tuned. So also, just a reminder of the 4 agreements. I feel like the 4 agreements are something that we should remind ourselves of every day. Very simple agreements that we can make with ourselves that require significant willpower to execute. So just a reminder, number 1, be impeccable with your word. In other words, as I interpret it, keep your promises to yourself and say nice things to yourself. And if you can just do those 2 things, that's enough. Be impeccable with your word to yourself. Number 2, take nothing personally. Take nothing personally. Whatever happens out there in the world, don't take it personally. And when you feel yourself taking it personally, shift. Number 3, don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions and not taking it personally are like intertwined, aren't they? They're like jumbled up like this. But if you can manage to not make assumptions, it'll be easier to not take it personally. So be impeccable, take nothing personally, don't make assumptions, and finally, do your best. Be gentle with yourself about managing and incorporating these 4 agreements into your life. And if you stumble, be gentle with yourself. Just get back up, get back on the horse, and keep reminding yourself of these 4 agreements. And your life will get better. I believe Don Miguel Ruiz when he says your life will get better, because it allows you to shed so much. When you shed those assumptions and shed taking things personally, you just free up your mental space. And I've only done it a little bit, and I can already see the difference. It does require willpower. My experience has been, I'll notice that I'm in it first, and I got to grab it, catch that tiger by the tail, as they said in, grade school, nursery, or whatever that was, and then pull it back and then shift. So however it works for you, be impeccable with your word, take nothing personally, don't make assumptions, do your best. Okay, moving on. So this next part is why I decided to record immediately, or relatively immediately, so that I could capture this moment. Before we get to that, let's do our affirmation. I am so happy. Let me put it up on the screen so we can all do it together. I hope you guys are reading this at home. Don't have me just up here reading this quote by myself. This is for everybody. All right, here we go. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. And my usual reminder, if you only spend, you'll stay poor. If you only save, you'll stay middle class. But if you want to become wealthy, you must invest. It is not optional. Okay, so now we've come full circle. I said that I wanted to do this quickly, soon after Rev Mel's show, because I wanted to corral my thoughts. And this is what happened. I talked, pretty much all this week, I talked about creating a list of 10 questions that people ask you. And Reverend Melissa took that assignment into her talk about visioning, about manifesting God's idea for your life as opposed to your idea for your life. And that helped shift my thinking a bit. And then we spoke in the green room after the show, and it helped shift my thinking a bit. So first of all, she said she was daunted by the number 10. Like coming up with 10 questions seemed difficult. Now, she ended up coming up with 14, so she did it. But that feeling like it was too many kept her from starting. So in case that's happening with you, let's break it up into smaller bits. So I've got 4 options of 5. So 4 sets of 5. So you can choose one of these sets of 5 items, and that can be it. So your whole list could be 5. It can be 5 instead of 10. And I've gotten more specific about what the 5 things could be. So here we go. Number 1, what are 5 things you went through that were challenging? 5 things you went through that were challenging. So just to recap, you could choose that as your block. And you're just going to write 5 things that you went through that were challenging. And that's it. And you're done. All right? All right, here's another option. You could also do 5 things that people always ask you to do because you're good at it. 5 things that people always ask you to do because you're good at it. Now that ought to be an easy list to come up with, right? So you could choose that as your block. Okay, block number 4. What are 5 things you can't help telling other people what to do? 5 things that you can't help telling other people to do. That ought to be a really easy list to create. You just can't help yourself. You always tell people to do something in this category. That could be your block. That's block 3. And block 4, what are 5 things you're known for? What are 5 things you're known for? The way I'm thinking about this is in terms of doing research within your tribe, your circle of friends and family. What I did, for example, once upon a time, is I wrote Sekou, my name, as a verb, Sekouing, and I put it on Facebook and asked people what it meant. And I got a range of responses. I've actually done it twice so far, and I got a wide range of responses, and it was interesting to see where the overlaps were. So that's one way that you could do it. You could put it on social media, or you could ask friends and family, if you added ing to your first name, what does that verb mean? That's one way you could find out 5 things that you're known for. Okay, so just to recap, I am breaking down my previous assignment of coming up with 10 questions to 5, just 5 things. Now, if you want to be an overachiever like Reverend Mel and do 14, 15, fantastic, or 20, doesn't matter, right? But if you're feeling challenged by the assignment as it stands, this ought to make it easier for you. So, new assignment, choose one of these 4 blocks and just write your 5 things. Just to recap, block number 1, 5 things you went through that were challenging, but you survived. 5 things you survived that were challenging is another way to phrase that. Number 2, 5 things that people always ask you to do because you're good at it. 5 things that people always ask you to do because you're good at it. Number 3, 5 things you can't help telling other people to do. 5 things you can't help telling other people to do. And number 4, 5 things you're known for. 5 things you're known for. Again, my suggestion there is to turn your name into a verb and see what your tribe has to say about it. Okay, so the purpose of all that, as I said, is to make it easier to start. And I imagine that once you start, you're going to end up blowing past your 5 because it's going to get good to you. But I want to eliminate the block of trying to come up with 10, the mental block. So let's go. Let's do those things. Also, yesterday I mentioned flow state. Let's put a pin in that. If you've already figured it out, great. But let's put a pin in that because I like the way Reverend Melissa talked about her list of now 14, 15 things. She was already phrasing it as a guide. So instead of making a list like, oh, people ask me how to make candles, let's say, she was already using the language of a guide. So she said how to make candles. So that is your next part of the assignment. You choose your block 1 through 4 of 5 things. You make your list of 5 things and then change the language for those 5 things into the language of a guide. How to make candles, how to survive. You know what? Let's run some examples. I was about to just make one up, but let me use some real examples because that might help spur you on also. So, sure, how to make candles. That could be something that you do that people know about, that people ask you. How to manage an estate when there's no will. It's a friend of mine who went through that recently. Both of his parents passed away in rapid succession, and there was no will. And so he and his siblings ended up in this kind of push and pull about how to manage the estate. But coming out on the other side of that, you've got all this wealth of information about how to manage such a thing. And he's already said that people have asked him how to do it. So your challenging thing that you went through, that you survived, you now know how to navigate it better. So that's a good one. How to manage an estate when there's no will. What's another one? How to manage grief. My mom has this package that she makes for people when there's a death in the family, let's say. And she'll put together this package, these resources, and give it to them. So that could easily fit into this category, like creating not only the charts and graphs, but your synthesis of the information. So now I'm talking to you, Mom. So your synthesis of what this information means and how best to ingest it, right? So how to survive grief, how to survive the loss of a loved one, etc. So now we've got a very easy title for a how-to around grief. So that's another good one. How to incorporate diversity in the workplace. That could be something that you worked, a field that you worked in your career, or are currently working in your career. I mean, there's so many things. I'm just giving you a couple ideas to jog your mind, to get you moving in the right direction. But it's essentially thinking about the things that you already know and quantifying them as a how-to, right? Because what we tend to do is we just take what we know for granted, and we feel like, well, nobody wants to know that stuff. But do the exercise, write it down. I was just thinking about another one. Yeah, there's so many. There's so many. But I was thinking about my aunt. She worked in IT for a very long time. So like an easy one for her could be how to manage something technical as a senior. Because there's a whole thing there. That's a whole other talk about the technology. As the technology advances and you advance in age, there seems to be that disconnect where things get more complicated just as you want things to get simpler. So there could be a whole subject there, a whole category there about how to manage things that are getting more complicated. Anyway, you get the idea. The sky's the limit. And you've got information that you just don't have to, but you could easily quantify as a guide. So let's just stick with the process. Pick your block. I gave you 4 different blocks. Pick your block, write out your 5 things, and then rephrase those 5 things as a how-to. That's it. That's it so far. Let's just do that together and be surprised by the things that emerge. Just start writing. Just start writing. And don't try to do the how-to first. Write it out first and then come back, and it'll be easy to add how-to to it. Okay? All right, so that's where we are. I wanted to get that thought out soon while I was thinking about it. And let me think, is there anything else? I think that's what I wanted to say. For those of you just joining us, we are in the process of creating a guide. I called it a brochure. I called it a pamphlet. Now I'm calling it a guide for other people to purchase from us ultimately. We are creating a new revenue stream for everybody watching this show. We are creating a new revenue stream, and we are eliminating the obstacles to creating a new revenue stream by doing it in very small bite-sized bits. All right. But that's the goal, to create at least one new revenue stream, because once again, the average millionaire has around 7 revenue streams. 7 or more, at least 7 revenue streams. So we want to be on that millionaire track. We want to be able to create other revenue streams despite whatever your primary revenue stream is, whether that's job or disbursement from Social Security or whatever it is. You want to create other additional revenue streams. No matter your age and stage, you need to have multiple revenue streams. It's a process. You just got to follow the process. Follow the breadcrumbs to success. Follow the breadcrumbs to wealth and abundance. Okay, that's what I want to communicate today. So stay tuned for prayer time, or it won't come up right after this, but if you want to see prayer time, go back out to New Thought Media Network and watch it there. Also check out Sit with Rev Melissa, and check me out here Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. where I'll be talking about becoming your own financial hero and living a life of abundance. And we're figuring it out together. So keep doing, be a hero, be your own financial hero. Remember that now is better than perfect in terms of investing. And I'll see you Sunday, because I'll be guest hosting Living Life in Joy on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. All right, later.